July 2020 is arguably going to be the most crazy month ever for cameras. First, we got the Canon R5 and R6, incredible cameras. Now Sony is going to be launching the a7S III on July 28th. Very excited for that. And Blackmagic just decided to launch not a 6K camera, not an 8K camera, 12K. 12K. Okay, it's $10,000. Most of us are probably never gonna use it. But that got me thinking about how I pre-ordered the R5, which I don't regret. I'll probably pre-order the Sony a7S III also. But the R5 is a lot of money. It's pretty expensive. It's $3,900. Now, you can argue that for the specs it's pretty cheap, but it's pretty expensive. That's like buying this, and this, and this, and this. For the price of just the Canon R5 body, you get this cinematic 6K raw shooting beast of a camera machine with lens, and you get drone footage. This right here is a 6K raw shooting cinematic beast with an f2.8 lens, 17-55 with stabilization, and we're getting drone footage also. This whole cinematic beast combo for the same price as just the R5 body. No lenses, nothing. You can't even use the body by itself. So I want to see what can I get this weekend with this combo. It blows my mind that you can get all of that quality, all of those incredible shots, the incredible opportunities to create crazy things with these little tools, all for the price of an R5 body. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because there's just so many people complaining about gear, about how much the R5 costs. You don't have to buy the R5 if you can invest in a whole bunch of other stuff and be completely set for that same price. Because right now, there has never been a better time in all of human history to be a filmmaker. We have so many options for gear that we can choose, and like crazy high quality options. So like I said in the last video, if you're complaining about camera gear, you suck. To get these high quality 6K raw shots, even like 5-6 years ago, would have cost you somewhere around $30,000 to $50,000. Like, most of us would never ever be able to afford that. Now it costs $2,000. To get aerial shots of people water skiing and doing pyramids. That, by the way, just happened. I don't even know those people, but it was incredible to watch and great to film on a drone. To get those aerial shots like 10 years ago would have literally taken a helicopter, a massive crew with a crazy setup, costing thousands and thousands of dollars probably every second of filming. Meanwhile, I just have this little drone that I'm flying by myself, and half the time I was just waiting for them. I was just flying in the air, and it cost me nothing. I just charge up the battery again. We are so incredibly lucky. I just want to talk about, so this is the Blackmagic 6K, shoots RAW, and actually all of that footage wasn't shot in RAW, it was shot in ProRes in 6K, 50 frames per second. I almost forgot that the Blackmagics can do ProRes until Caleb from Moment did a video kind of like talking about what it's been like to use the Blackmagic 6K, and I was like, that's right, it does ProRes, which is really high quality, but you don't have to deal with the headaches of RAW. So that's what I ended up going with for the weekend, and the footage looks insane. Like if I would have had that quality when I started filmmaking, oh my gosh. And then I ended up using this Canon 17-55 f2.8 with stabilization lens because this range is really great. 17-55, you get the nice wide shots, but then you can also zoom in quite a bit. That is a small caveat of this lens. It only works on crop censored cameras, so do not buy it for a full frame camera. But this lens is like perfect for this camera because of the great range, but also because it has stabilization built into the lens. So it gets rid of those little nasty micro shakes. This package for less than $3,000, just insane. And then this drone, I have so many good things to say about this Mavic Air 2. Really loving it. High quality, 240 frames per second. 240 frames per second flying around like, And a couple other affordable lenses that would be really great for this setup would be the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. That's a really great lens. And then also the 11-16, that's what it is, right? Yeah, 11-16 Tokina f2.8 for $400. Nice and wide, you get a nice range. That's actually one of the first, might have been my second ever lens that I owned when I started filmmaking. It was like a way older version, but great lens. There are so many great combinations of cameras and lenses. Just the gear that we have at our fingertips is incredible. And yes, it still costs money. Like it's still a decent amount of money, even though it's hundreds of thousands of dollars cheaper than it was 10, 20 years ago. But honestly, if you can't afford cameras like this, then you're probably not ready for them. Because if you can't afford them, that means that you're not at a level yet that you can actually be making money from your gear. For example, when I was shooting wedding films, I was charging around $5,000 US for a wedding. So that alone, one wedding, would be able to pay off all of this gear. So if you can't afford this gear and you're complaining it's way too expensive, well, I'm sorry, but you're just not ready for it yet. You gotta work hard, get better, make more money, and then eventually, buying a $4,000 camera won't seem so crazy because you could pay it off by filming just one wedding. So yeah, this is a great package if you don't want to get an R5 or you don't want the Sony a7S III. There are so many cameras to choose from. If you don't want those, this is still a really, really viable option. No, it's not perfect. It's terrible for vlogging. I mean, it's possible Moment guys do it, but it's not very good for vlogging. No camera is perfect, but wow, do we have so many options. So gear definitely isn't stopping you from becoming a filmmaker. The only thing that's stopping you is, well, you. Anybody know what this right here is? Salt and licorice. Except this kind is spicy. Do you guys remember a couple weeks ago, we were here and I was talking about all the caterpillars. They were everywhere. No leaves. And this is that same forest. This is the same forest I filmed where there was no leaves, and now they're back again. I did not know that trees could grow their leaves twice in one season. Did you guys know that? I had no idea, but it's really nice. We got actual tree. It doesn't look like winter anymore.